Hello, people. Right. Xerxes was bored, and I'm really trying to procrastinate smoking. So he needed to get a battle up to please the masses, and I was like, hey, do you want to kill like three birds with one stone? So there you go. And yeah, we got a battle now, and it was lasted about 45 minutes. It was a pretty goddamn good one. Um, I will say this: I do use a custard berry croissant. I know you. Well, people who watch my shit regularly will have seen it before, but yeah, it was kind of unfair, really, when you consider Xerxes doesn't play 5th gen often or Pokemon often anymore, and he's using all sort of legit crap. So yeah, sorry about that. Don't know how much the extra layer of spikes really mattered or factored into it, but if it did, I'm sorry. Anyway, I am really waffling here because my live recorded shit is gonna take forever. It's a good thing this is in times 3, because if I've been sitting here for a minute already and it still hasn't started yet, there he is. However, once the battle gets going, I'm probably gonna have to narrate pretty sharpish. Yeah, but yeah. So if you haven't guessed, it's against mtgxerxes. Just thought I'd point that out again. Don't know why. Oh well. I am going to lead off with Macrossel. He's going to lead off with Ninetales. And basically, as soon as I sent Crossel out, he was like, what the fuck is that thing? And I was like, well, it's Rock and Bug, so hit it with fire. I don't know. But I'm just going to set up my Stealth Rocks as I do, because the whole point of this thing is Stealth Rocks and Spikes, and it has Counter and Cost Apex Scissor and another layer of Spikes if I need it. So there you go. After a lot of waiting and trying to figure out what he wants to do, because he's never seen this fucking thing before, I believe he goes with Fire Blast. Like I say, I'm just going to go Stealth Rocks, because, yeah, that's the whole point. And he also has a Volcarona, which, yeah, I would love Stealth Rocks to be sitting there. I don't even care if he burned me here, I would just want Stealth Rocks. So I get that up, and look, he's Life Orb Ninetales, so I'm immediately assuming, you know, like, timid, offensive thing. There's the Costat Berry, get that layer of spikes up. He hidden powers me, because he hasn't got a clue what the hidden powers are on his guys. I believe I am going to go into Gyarados, yeah. Because, you know, I've got Hydro Pump and EQ. I know he has the Rotom Wash, and the Rotom is the bane of my existence, but I figured, you know, play it safe. Like, what, we're a couple of turns in, then not much point over-predicting. However, the Hydro Pump and Fire Blast that I have on this Gira kind of messes with my head a little bit later on, so... Oh well. I'm not going to stay in, because it's a Rotom, and despite the fact that Gira is made to live T-Bolts, I don't really want to try. Again, it's mainly as a precaution if I genuinely need it, and even then I couldn't hit this Rotom for crap anyway. So there really ain't much point. I think I'm actually going to go into Lopunny, because Lopunny seem like the best thing to take any hit. And I could deal with Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split, because I have Copycat, so I could burn him and Pain Split back. So, there. So I'm just going to go into my Lopunny. For some unknown reason, I probably should have gone with Charm. I actually go with Copycat, because I was like, oh, hang on, I can see what the hidden power is. And I was like, wait a minute, it's just going to be hidden power Dark. So yeah, that was stupid. And now, even though my Lopunny is specially defensive, I don't exactly want to sit here and take a Fire Blast to the face. It wouldn't be fun. So I think I actually go back into Gira. Kind of obvious play, but, you know, it's probably the best thing I have to take it. He's going to go over Will-O-Wisp and burns me, but that really isn't as bad as it, well, as it was to start with. Here I make a dumb play. I go Fire Blast instead of Hydro Pump, because I figured... if I went with Fire Blast, Sun Boosted, it would kill anyway, but it doesn't, and Hydro Pump probably would have done. So there you go. My main thought process was, if he brought in Rotom again, Fire Blast is probably going to do more. And then here I make an even dumber play and go EQ when I have Rest laying around. So yeah, that was really stupid. I was like, please bring in something slow. Slow. If it's slow, I can rest and I'll be happy. And he brings in his Darmanitan like, well, I'm fucked. What am I going to do? I go for rest anyway, just in case, because, you know, I might be able to get it off. And he goes U-turn and I live, and I'm like, oh, fuck yes! Gyarados doing work, living those U-turns from crazy evil monkeys. So in comes the Rotom, I rest, and he's pissed off because he's wasted his Ninetales, and yeah, if he'd have just Flare Blitzed, it would have died. And Gyarados is actually pretty helpful later on. But I'm not going to stay in, I'm going to switch into my Lopunny, because I've got Heal Bell, so I can wake up my Gyarados, and then we're right back to square one, except I'm up a Pokemon, I think. Oh no, wait, Crustle died. No, we're square now. Hydro Pump does nothing. I guess if I brought in Mamoswine, then yeah, that would have been a pretty smart play, so good prediction. I go Heal Bell and wake up my Gyarados, and here comes Latias. Now here's where I get a bit sort of with the whole copycat and encore thing, because copycat generally works better if you're slower, but encore generally works better if you're quicker. No, wait. No. See, whatever. They both kind of work better when you're slower, but it's really tricky to get it to work properly. So I encore him into Reflect, and my thought process is I will copycat his Reflect, but I copycat the encore, so I'm like, oh piss, I didn't think that one through. And then in comes the Gliscor, and I thought I'd be slower, because every single Gliscor under the sun nowadays is, you know, invested with speed instead of defense, because people forgot how to use Gliscor. But his one looks like a defensive one with Toxic, and yeah, so that was stupid. So it turns out I'm quicker, and my encore is wasted. And then here I'm thinking that I'll copycat his Toxic, and he'll switch out, and I can Toxic something coming in, but it doesn't work either. And now I'm like, well, fuck, I've just wasted my time for ages. You know, he's just hitting me now, so I think, well, bollocks to this, I'm just going to Charm. If something comes in, well, at least it has minus attack. So I Charm, and he goes Ice Fang, and I was like, oh, hello, I can just copycat that. Thanks. What I actually should have done was probably Charm or Heal Bell, because now that I can copycat his Ice Fang, it did seem blissfully obvious that he would switch. I mean, even though it's Lopunny against Gliscor, it's still times 4 super effective. It would have done like a quarter or something, so unnecessary damage is unnecessary. But he's going to switch out and go into his Volcarona, and I hit it with an Ice Fang, and it does nothing, as you'd expect. I see the lefties on it, and it looks, well, lefties generally means bulky, so I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go into my Gyarados, because I figure a couple of Hydro Pumps or EQs will kill it, and it's the best thing I've got to take it. And I'm just going to leave my Lopunny as Death Fodder. So I go into my Gyarados, and he uses Morning Sun, and I'm like, well, shit, that's not good. A few Hydro Pumps and EQs won't kill it now, because it can Quiver Dance on me and slowly kill me. So I'm going to go into Salamence, because I have Stone Edge, and I figure that would, you know, do the job nicely. But he goes into Rotom, right? And so I'm thinking, oh, well, he looks offensive, he looks scarfed or something, so I'll DD. He tricks me, and I'm like, you bastard. One, you now made it so that I can't DD anymore, and two, you've gotten rid of my Wide Lens, which is so unbearably crucial, it's retarded. So I'm not, wow, I'm not particularly happy with that. If I'd have just Dragon Rushed, I might have hit and killed. So, but I'm going to go into Lopunny and just sack it, because I'm trying to use his Volt Switches against him, so that I get the initiative as opposed to he gets the initiative. Which, at the end of the day, I kind of lose out because I lose a guy, but at least I bring in something that's going to kill him, as opposed to he brings in something that's going to kill me. If that makes any sense to anyone. I think he's going to bring in, Latias, yeah. And now, you know, I'm kind of annoyed, but I do now have a Scarfed Salamence, which should outspeed the vast majority of his team. So I go back into it thinking, what the hell could go wrong? So I'm just going to go Dragon Rush, and he brings in his Gliscor, and it misses. Kind of meh. Didn't really matter at all at the end of the day. In time. I knew he was going to switch out, but it's like, if he goes into Rotom, then Dragon Rush is going to work better, and it should still do a decent chunk to the Gliscor. So I go for it in a mess, but oh well. That's the problem. That's why it needs Wide Lens. 75% accuracy does really suck. So I'm going to go into Mamoswine, because Mamoswine is awesome. Especially this one, it's all crazy and funky. He goes Protect, I go with Roar. Probably should have seen a Protect coming, but oh well. But here, I figured since I just used Roar, I figured he would stay in, so I can Ice Shard him for free, which is good. Now that's nice. And he's just going to go, I think, EQ, which, you know, does a lot, but then Gliscor is pretty beastly offensively, so to be expected. And, you know, despite Mamoswine having Roar and Light Screen, I don't actually have any defense or special defense investment. So there you go. Go Ice Shard. It does a crap ton, which makes me happy. EQ does a decent chunk, but the problem is Poison is going to really start wearing me down now. So I predicted the Protect this time and go with Light Screen, and that's a pretty random fucking move on a Mamoswine, but pays off there. And now I figured that he would switch, so the amount of health that he was at, I figured an Ice Shard might kill, depending on min-max. But I go for it anyway, because I want this Gliscor gone. Because if it's gone, Salamence can Dragon Rush his way through the whole damn team. And, well, Gyarados couldn't really do that much, but it could get somewhere. It would pretty much be stopped by Rotom. I swear to God, Rotom was the bane of my existence. In fact, the sun probably helped me, because that Hydro Pump now is kind of crappy. Still, he goes back into Volcarona again. I kind of wish I'd gone EQ. I was thinking about it, but at the end of the day, if it didn't work and he just killed my Mamoswine for free, I'd feel like a bit of a twat, so there you go. Here I'm just going to go Raw, in case he goes Morning Sun, and if he hits me, then his HP is still low, I bring in Salamence, and we're good to go. So go Raw, he goes Morning Sun, as I figured. In comes Latias again. I'm going to die from Poison, and now we're right back where I started, except I lost my Mamoswine. But I can now bring back in Salamence, and his Gliscor is at a lot lower health. So I'm thinking, okay, you know, I could go Fire Blast again, but I still figure that the Dragon Rush is fairly safe, and, you know, 2 should kill the Gliscor. I was hoping. So he's going to switch, and he's going to go back into Gliscor again. Soon, in a minute. Come on. Come on. You can do it. One day. I was kind of worried he'd bank on the miss, but luckily he switched. Go Dragon Rush. Does a pretty good amount, but when I was kind of really worried that after a couple of poison heals, especially if he got a double Protect, I would not kill it. And he has Ice Fang. I don't want to sit there for that. So I switch into Gyarados to get the Intimidate off on him. And I figure I'm going to switch back, because he'd be scared of the Hydro Pump. But no, he isn't. And I go back in, I'm like, well, pissed. Now I'm just kind of boned, except I can pick my move. So he goes Protect, I go Fire Blast, and I figured, oh, he's going to switch out. He's going to go into Rotom or Latias. I'm not going to be able to get anywhere. And he actually stays in, which slightly perplexed me. I guess at that amount of HP, figured he'd live one, but I actually get a crit. I didn't notice that, but yeah, that if that mattered, which it probably did, because even Sun Boosted, Gliscor does have a lot of HP, so it might not have actually killed, but if that mattered, then yeah, that was crucial, because that was pretty much the wall of my Salamence, and if he'd Ice Fanged me, I would have died. Probably, even at -2 for the Gliscor. But still, I'm going to go into Starmie, which has done literally nothing this match, because all it has is Surf. But it pays off here. I surf the Darmanitan, so thank God that's gone. But I'm not going to get a chance to really use Reflect type or anything like that. He's going to bring in his Rotom Wash. I was kind of hoping maybe I could Reflect type it and then resist the Volt Switch. But if it's offensive, it's going to outspeed and kill me. But again, I now have more initiative because I get to choose what I bring in on what he brings in. So that's good. See, kids, that's why you should run T-Bow. Although, then again, I still get to bring in what I want to him. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't really make a difference, except whatever he brings in takes a bit of Stealth Rocks and Spikes. Oh, well. That was my thought process. I think he's going to bring in his Latias, and I'm going to bring in my Salamence. And then it pretty much comes down to that. If my Dragon Rush hits, good times. I pretty much, you know, it's a lot safer than it was. I mean, the Rotom could still present a problem if I miss, but I could theoretically beat out the Volcarona with just Gyarados alone. God knows I wouldn't enjoy it, but it could be done. But, yeah, if I miss this Dragon Rush, it's game, because I could not kill the Latias with my Gyarados, and I could not kill the Rotom with the Gyarados. Or I could, but, like I say, incredibly hard and tricky, and I wouldn't be able to kill the Volcarona afterwards. So I'm praying to Jesus that I'm going to hit. I go for it, and I hit, and I'm like, yay! And he's like, well, that's GG. And I'm like, well, it could miss. But as it turns out, I don't actually miss at all. I actually get 3 in a row for a 75 accuracy move, which was quite amazing for me. But still, good game, Xerxes. Thank you for helping me procrastinate my smoking a bit more, and maybe I'll quit and then I won't have to nag you about battles anymore. Thanks for watching, guys, and hope you've enjoyed this. Laters.